The most profound stories often start in the most unassuming ways. No fanfare, no elaborate plans, just a simple twist of fate. Such is the beginning of today's story, when two young lawyers, Ayobami, fresh out of the Nigerian law school, and Seyi, recently returned from law school in the United Kingdom, crossed paths at the esteemed law firm ACAS during their National Youth Service. This chance encounter sparked a connection that has grown brighter and stronger over the years.
I had returned to Nigeria in 2008, June. And to be honest, I didn't want to practice law anymore. And I had my NYSC letter from Standard Chartered. I was on my way to Surulere to deliver the letter when a gentleman, a friend of mine, Bode Munis, he had gone to King's College with me, kept calling me that he wanted me to meet his bosses at AC&S.
A friend of mine, Bode Munis, called and said the firm was looking for associates in the NYSC department. And I recall, applying, and then I met Shula Dekwetu.
And I have known the partners of T&A for several years now. I believe they both started out in the earlier days of their career here.
They both came in here as youth coppers, and she, in fact, worked with my team. Ayobami, I think, worked with another team within the firm. But of course, it did mean that I did have access to him, and we did do some work together.
In the style of the firm, they had a den room called the interns room. That was where, all the newbies were. We were about 8 lawyers in that room. But somehow fate found Seyi and I.
It was a good working environment, but Ayobami stood out for me because, Ayobami as a person is very selfless. And I think that drew me to him.
The dream of every associate in ACAS then was obviously to get retained. And the firm had said, we're not retaining associates at the time. Seyi had gone to law school, so he didn't, even apply to be retained. The experience around wanting to be retained and not getting the position, obviously at the time it was disappointing, but apparently, everything works together for good. I'm sure it was certainly for a reason.
After their time at ACAS, Ayobami and Seyi stayed in touch, and by January 2010, they reunited at Wine Press.
The change has happened. Hallelujah.
It was there, amidst conversations and shared aspirations, that the seed of a partnership was first planted.
So it was at Wine Press during the prayers and I think we sealed it that let's do it. Like, this is it.
That was it, really. From the program, obviously I had clear instructions and she felt the same way.
Well, I was very happy that my son and his friend, both barristers, wanted to set up a practice. And I thought they needed some help to begin with. So I gave them the use of my dining room and guest room as their office, their starting place.
Using Seyi, that space, what he did was we had shared services. From day one, we didn't have to bother about generator, all the Nigerian problems, everything was sorted from day one. So they were extremely, we're extremely grateful for them. They really came through for us at the starting of the firm.
I wasn't yet a lawyer in Nigeria, but I had several work experiences. I had finished law school in England. I had worked in AC&S. So I didn't consider myself as if I was not a lawyer. So I really wanted to get involved. But as lawyers, you must also keep to the law. So the understanding we had was, okay, we'll start off as Ayobami, Tunde and Co. And then I would, of course, go to law school. And then when I get called to the bar, then we'll change the name as originally planned.
So I started the firm as Ayobami, Tunde and Co. But we had the understanding from day one.
And as soon as I got called in the same 2010, November, we decided to start the process to change from Ayobami, Tunde and Co. to Tunde and Adisa Legal Practitioners.
So I recall a client walking into the office, a tech client at the time. Because we are doing incorporation, getting trademarks done, and having conversations around, the growth of his business.
At the time, we were already making, maybe 500K for some clients. But for me anyway, I hadn't reached that. So I'm going and we're like 1.4, 1.5. And the guy said, okay. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Like, I'm even about to say, okay, look, let's just start with these ones, because I don't know, maybe he had just gotten a grant or something. So literally we're having these conversations, we're advising, and at the same time putting what the cost outlay will be. And he just kept saying, okay.
And that was, the first time we clocked, charged over $1 million for at once on a transaction. And getting that particular client, what he did for us, he improved our confidence. He really, he told us that we were on the right track. Because, we were doing some of the things he asked us to do for the first time, but he didn't know.
By 2011, Tunde and Adisa was in full flow. However, an unexpected call would change the course of the firm forever.
So in August 2011, I actually got a call from a friend. Her dad had become governor in 2011 May.
Governor Abiola Ajimobi joins a huge crowd.
I go and see the governor. He reads the report, and the report had actually recommended me for the role. And so he called in the head of service, told the head of service to read the report. And after the head of service read the report, he said, that's the gentleman over there. Go and give him his letter. That's my principal private secretary.
When he got that call, for me, it was more of, so what next? Seyi is going to battle. So what happens? I thought about it and said, oh, it's for the good of the firm. Maybe we'll get briefs from it. But that was not the aim. The aim for me was, I was happy that Seyi was progressing with his overall, his overall mission, what I knew he wanted to do. But he was on the outside only, literally. But let's say when I say like in spirit, literally, Seyi was always there because we were always talking. The only thing is, I thought, oh, Ayo, so it's now just you.
With Seyi stepping back to take on new challenges, Ayobami took the reins as the sole active partner. Undeterred, he pressed forward with the vision, moving the firm to 48 Okwebi Street and leveraging its real estate practice as the cornerstone for its expansion.
From desk to desk, I started from the lands officers, to the registry officers, to when I started dealing with directors, I built relationships in that first year.
I remember then that anytime I had a naughty issue with any of the matters I was handling that required us to meet with the regulators, it was Ayobami that I would ask to go and settle that problem.
T&A Legal is a law firm that, I work with very much because they do a lot of land transactions, and land use and allocation committee is one of the first places you think of when you talk about land. And so far, they've been very professional in their activities. I've never seen them, doing any sharp practices. Basically, they're a law firm of integrity. I can say that much.
So what did we do different? A client comes and says, I want to buy a property in Ikoyi. I go, I represent the client. What I realized is that sometimes in doing that job, I'm trying to purchase a property from a client. After I've purchased that property, the seller then calls me, because in Nigeria, most times, the seller sometimes doesn't have a lawyer. So the seller says, all the questions you asked me, my lawyer has never asked me when we are purchasing. So please, on my next deal, come and be my lawyer. And for example, that's how I got Chief Emeka Elunzi.
I bought some property from one guy in Ikoyi here. During the course of the transaction, Ayo was one of the lawyers that facilitated the transaction. That was how I met him. Because of the way he played on the transaction. I called him at some point to help me and tidy up the transaction. And from then, we'll be moving around and doing stuff. If you're coming down the Lekki Bridge, community Ikoyi, you will notice a project there that is called Ceylon's Heights. I own that project, and this transaction was also done by T&A. So it's a 13th floor building. I mean, it's a landmark. As a matter of fact, T&A is still the law firm in charge of the building because it's a project we did here and it's multiple occupants.
So that's how, our real estate practice started to grow. And then we started to, our commercial practice also, we started to put a lot of effort, again, based on relationships, referrals. And then, we started offering services to Lishabe Mills.
We have been using the services of T&A Legal, Tunde and Adisa, for about, I'd say about 12, 13 years. So probably just around when they started the firm. And it's been a very, very good experience. First of all, they are very versatile. As I've said, we are a food processing company, but we also have properties. Each of these areas requires some level of expertise, and they've been able to deliver to us on all fronts.
We're in the retail business, and they've helped us to take a lot of people off my neck, Sometimes I call them late as 10 o'clock and they're here. I mean, if there are issues that had to be addressed. I know there was one particular issue we had around June last year with Heritage Bank when they were closed, and they took it up for me. They filled all the NDIDC forms for me. I think generally in all, they've really helped in stabilizing Grandex, most especially.
Adisa, at the time, walked into my office, young guy as well, the kind of clients I told you I was looking for. And he had a vision, to use tech, with payment systems.
How are we doing? My name is Adisa, co-founder, CEO at Vendi.
T&A has been pivotal to Vendi's growth, especially in the early days when we first founded Vendi. We got, accepted into the prestigious Y Combinator in the US. T&A were able to midwife us through that process, setting up a company in the US, sorting out all the taxes and all the, certifications that we required to do this, helping us get all our, licenses from the Central Bank of Nigeria, MasterCard, Visa, and all those certifications. We raised over $2 million in that interaction. So it's been almost thankful to them. That's how we feel in how they've supported us, through that journey.
There was a transaction we were invited to fund, and we're working with a gentleman called Mr. Favor Afolabi. The son on my side didn't show up, and Ayobami had to step in, to pretty much take charge, at least from the legal perspective, in that meeting, And 5 minutes into that meeting, I knew, okay, this is different from that point on, right? For those kind of transactions, T&A legal is always the first point of referral. I think last year we must have done 4 or 5 big transactions together. And when they talk of law firm, my first recommendation is, are they available? Right, let's get them on the deal.
Unfortunately, my friend Favor passed in December of 2024. So that was one of the downsides of the year, because he was such an excellent individual, but was able to leave us with great. He left us with more. Favor was just an excellent individual, a real enigma in the real estate space.
In 2014, recognizing the need for strategic leadership, Ayobami and Seyi brought on board 2 exceptional professionals, Jide Owoyomi and Gbemisola Mosuro. These powerhouse hires would go on to make significant contributions to the firm's growth and reputation.
As a firm, we had built a good real estate and commercial practice. And so it felt strange that whenever we had a dispute resolution, we would have to send the client away. We had an alliance with another law firm, but we thought, that's not the way to grow. So we needed to bring somebody in-house.
When I joined fully in February 2014, it was primarily myself going to court doing litigation, helping to take decisions for the general running of the firm. I think training young lawyers, who were part of the team was a fundamental aspect. And I think I'm proud to say that everybody who came through, who were trained or who worked, on with the firm at that time, would clearly be able to say that yes, we made an impact.
There's a lot of work, Jide did up till the point where he made partner. Jide got married sometime in 2017, December, and for family reasons, he had to relocate to the UK. In 2014, I attended the wedding of my very good friend. So, of course, Ayobami got invited as well. Therefore, I went to university with Bemi. So, during the after party, Ayobami and I started talking, and I said, Bemi, I think you'll be a good fit at our firm, and I think you should, let's have a formal chat on Monday.
We were also in a heavy growth phase. More young lawyers were coming in. They needed guidance. They needed someone that would be in-house to guide their growth. Ayobami was always, and he is always out. But Bemi brought that, if you like, that piece of stability to the firm.
Okay, so when I came in, I had to wear a lot of caps, the administrative aspects, human resources, IT. It was a bit challenging, but I think what got me going was the fact that I knew these things needed to be done.
Bemi's ascension to partnership was a very easy decision. Ayo, of course, dealt with her on a daily basis, but every conversation I had with Bemi, I saw partnership material, if you like.
All that, made us, make a decision, in 2018 that, what, we want to get another partner. From the first year, we always had end of the year parties. Even when we're two lawyers, we'll gather and say, we'll cut a cake and say, this year was good. For each end of year party, I was always very eager to, include games and all, because yes, when it comes to games and all, you count me in all the time. The charades and is it Pictionary or so, and all that, concentration, count me in. It's the end of the year party, you need to relax and unwind.
The firm, we have Secret Santa, where you pick anonymously another member of staff, and then you get to buy them a gift. And, some people are still expecting their Rolls Royce gifts and their Range Rovers, which is yet to come, but I'm sure it's on the way. But it's a good tradition we formed at the firm. It's something that, you want to be picked by the partners because your list, something on your list will be delivered.
In 2018, at the end of year party, it was announced that I had become a partner in Tunde and Adisa Legal Practitioners. If I'm to think about how I felt at the time, to be honest, after the announcement, I was worried about what was going on at the party because we were, up and about. There were a lot of people there, and all. I think the impact, I didn't get to feel the impact until I got home. If I was going to get a report card, that would have been my report card to let me know how I'd done since, I joined the firm in 2014.
Over the years, many individuals have left their mark on Tunde and Adisa, playing critical roles during their tenure and achieving great things elsewhere. Their contributions remain a vital part of the firm's rich history.
This journey of TNA for 15 years couldn't have been possible, without certain individuals who have, at some point when they've come, so when they were in the firm, they really, I saw them give their all. And I'm so proud of them now, where they are, what they've been able to do with themselves.
I think one of the things I can say proudly about TNA is many of our lawyers, we're still in touch with them. We still have a very, very good relationship. I think they all contributed their quota to the growth of the Ibadan and the Ibadan office, and of course, Lagos and Abuja as well.
My time in TNA, I basically headed the office in Ibadan. I became more grounded in commercial practice, and then I'll say my drafting improved, right? And by the time I was set up, my almost 10 years in litigation was useful, but maybe more than 2 years I did in TNA was most helpful.
There was a trademark matter we had in Abuja. I was the youngest on the team at that time. I could recall it. Bulk of the research work was on my table. And at the end of the day, we were able to get certain injunctions and everything, and things just moved perfectly. It was a beauty to behold how law plays out. So that's one of the key moments in TNA that I don't think I will ever forget.
When it comes to branding and the presence of a firm, how you want others to view your firm, that's a very key thing for them. And that was instilled in everyone that was working there at every point, that there must be this, that when people see a work or the transactions documents or any communications or anything from TNA, they must be able to identify and say, oh, this is from TNA.
TNA had, or still has, the culture of excellence. For me, I was coming in newly and I just met a system where everything has to work. Somehow it's ingrained in me, that culture of being very meticulous. I had to read emails over and over again to ensure there was no mistake.
Both on the legal and the non-legal end, we've had great minds come to try and create structure. We had Peter, who's doing very well now in the business comms world of law. We also, had great, excellent admin staff. Particularly, we had our mother hen in the office then, our accountant, Mrs. Olabi, excellent individual, a mother figure in the office. But unfortunately, we lost her to cancer. And
it was a very sad time for the firm. I imagine her being here today.
It was a huge loss for us, a huge loss, especially because she was just one of those people that was very much liked. And that's very hard for you to say about accountants. Accountants are not always liked.
That process also, made us also change some things within the firm, to say, how do we ensure that our people are better protected? How do we ensure that we care, we show more care for our staff?
As T&A grew, so did its clientele. By 2016, a significant number of its clients had shifted to Lagos Island, reflecting the success of their businesses. It became evident that the firm needed to relocate to the island to remain close to its clients.
My mentor and I, Shola Adekoto, will sit end of the year and have a conversation around the business. And I recall, discussing, so what are the plans? And, in our informal conversation, we then had a conversation around, these assets, 16 Adisa Street, where we had helped him acquire. That's, what I think the number will be for that place now. And I said, are you considering selling it?
When it was time for us to sell, he was the first person I asked, are you interested in buying this? And of course, you can trust Ayobami, top, very hard negotiator. Negotiated with us so that he was just paying in bits. But hey, we're happy to do that with him. So that's how he acquired it. And he said yes, he wanted to move his offices at the time from Ikeja. So it was just easy for him to just acquire the building since he knew everything about the property anyway.
He uses something else. Ayobami, I shaved my head. I've shaved my head. I was able to shave his head that day, small, and reached an agreement. And today, that property belongs, to the firm.
We want to continue to be client focused. We want to continue to, serve clients well, and sometimes that means being close enough to be able to meet their needs very well. So I think that's what has driven us so far. And of course, the island office is our building, which is the difference between the other two. The other two were rented. Now we have purchased the building, and we're still looking to expand even some more.
In 2023, after serving as the principal private secretary to the governor for 8 years and representing the people of Afigio in the State Assembly for 4 years, Seyi returned to the firm, bringing with him a wealth of experience and leadership.
When Seyi was going to transition from being an appointee to an elected official, Seyi then said, okay, Seyi, so when you are coming back to the firm now, I said, no, I want to represent my people of Afigio. I said, Afigio? Where's that?
My name is Seyi Adisa. I represent the people of Afigio State Constituency.
I mean, yes, it meant an extra 4 years of not being in the office, but I thought, or at least I know Ayobami, his family, Abiola, his wife, all of them came for my campaign. Everybody in the firm was happy that you're a partner in the firm, a part of the firm is now going to be at the highest level in the state.
I knew she was coming back in 2023. I had no doubt because she is an honorable person. They had an understanding, within the Afidjo, community that you do one time and you let it go.
And now that I'm back in the firm, it's been more or less a seamless coming back because I wasn't in-house, but I've always continued to see myself as a lawyer, and I've continued to develop my skill sets and my capacity.
It was good to have him back. Very, very good to have him back. After he came back, we were able to establish our public policy and regulation practice in Abuja, which is leading right now. So, only way is up.
Today, T&A is a testament to resilience, vision, and collaboration. With 15 years of expertise spanning multiple areas, a dedicated team of lawyers, and partners who continue to defy expectations.
We started in 2010. It's been a minute. I'm thankful for 15 years. I'm thankful for growth from one practice area, just real estate, to real estate and construction. Headed by myself to corporate commercial, BME, public practice, and regulation, Seyi, agricultural law practice, Seyi. We've now have a vibrant litigation department headed by Mr. Ayodele Oshin.
I started working in T&A Legal 2022, I think October. It's been a beautiful experience, good culture, and something is different. It's something that I'm in personally for the long haul.
But just to be able to, talk about this growth, where two young people decided to start something, and now we are talking about 21 lawyers, working for the firm. It's just a testament of how good God is.
My experience at T&A over the past 2 years and some months has been very pleasant. I've got to work with very enterprising and a very close-knit team of colleagues and seniors.
Our core values and culture at the firm are innovation, integrity, and hard work.
Specifically, there are 2 cases that T&A had been involved with criminal cases where people had been sentenced to death, and we managed to get them off. So that has been quite a good thing to be associated with.
If there's a problem, it's an open door policy. You can walk in and say, oh, these are the issues that, and you would see something is already happening. There's always that drive to grow in the law firm.
The culture at T&A is work hard, play hard. We're not uptight. The partners are approachable. Of course, we're all here because we're here to work. So when it's time to work, let's focus, let's zero our minds and get it done. And when it's time to have fun, let's have some fun.
The story of T&A is far from over. From its humble beginnings in 2010 to its achievements today, this is only the opening chapter.
15 years from now, so that's about 2040, I want T&A to be the go-to firm in several key areas.
I'm excited already. I can look back and see the great things that we've done with the firm. I can see us having several partners all over the world.
I see a very bright future for the firm. I see us expanding to other countries, working with more clients. I see us still keeping our clients as the focus of the firm.
I want T&A to be, if you're going to deal with the federal government or any of the state governments, that firm has a very clear understanding of what to do. The practice areas that we are playing in, we want to be in the top 3 of those practice areas.
I know that a lot's going to happen with AI, a lot's going to happen with technology, and we're already embracing it. I see us, being, the leading experts, being the leading firm to work with these tools, to be able to bring, to basically to be able to simplify law.
I also see us reinforcing our values of hard work, integrity, and innovation with the many more lawyers that we're going to recruit, the many partners we're going to admit, and the many more clients we're going to obtain.